Hey everybody, welcome to Yeah But. I'm Rod and this is MJB, and we're going to get things going in honor of Memorial Day. We have a special edition Vietnam Memorial coin here. The soldier on the front is heads, which will be side A, and then the helicopter on the back will be side B. So we'll
this is a solid gold coin, so we're going to flip it right onto here so we don't break it.
All right, I'm side A.
Let's do it.
So we got big news this week. The Supreme Court just stuck it to all of the lending industries. They declared that the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau is constitutional. So I guess basically they're Dr. Manhattan now. They're the all-powerful blue glowing god in the sky that can do anything.
Yeah, but kinda. They declared their funding structure to be constitutional, not the entire organization. So just chill out, Buck Snort.
Yeah, but what is that? What's the difference?
Okay, so the U.S. Supreme Court recently upheld the funding structure of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or the CFPB, confirming the constitutionality of it in a 7-2 decision, which is kind of like a landslide in the Supreme Court world, right? The court ruled that the CFPB's funding mechanism, like I have already said before, the funding part of it, which draws money directly from the Federal Reserve as determined necessary by the agency's director, does not violate any of the appropriations clause of the U.S. Constitution. What that really means, I think a better way to say it is they don't have to go to Congress for the money. And which, when you go to Congress for money, it's like going to your parents for allowance. It's like, meaning Congress can't influence them by saying, look, bro, you need to do this, chill out on this, or ramp it up on this, or we're not going to give you your allowance.
So they are basically Dr. Manhattan, like I said, a living god that can't be destroyed.
It's more like the Galactic Council said, the Empire's cool, they can keep building the Death Stars and stuff, but we can change the person running it.
Yeah, but that whole who is running it part is actually a big point. It took yet another Supreme Court decision to determine that the president of the freaking United States could fire the head of the CFPB, which is bonkers. Congress actually passed a law saying that the person who runs this incredibly powerful organization couldn't be fired. They did that on purpose.
Right? Then the first Vader to run the damn thing's primary resume item was being on Jeopardy. You remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it took the Supreme freaking Court of the United States to make it so he could be fired for really any reason. By the way, did you know that the 5th floor of the Supreme Court building has a basketball court on it? I just learned this. They literally call it the highest court in the land, for real.
There we go.
Oh.
Well, that second part, that actually is pretty cool. The first part, not so much. But, you know, this kind of highlights into the yeah, but theme of let's see both sides of this.
Oh, yeah. I kind of forgot that's how this works. And you're right about this highlighting the good and bad of the CFPB. My point of view is that it's kind of a decent idea, but Congress, as usual, did a crappy job of creating it.
Correct. The Supreme Court said that they shouldn't have to answer to Congress for their budget and don't have to be controlled by Congress.
One side of that argument is that they should have to answer to Congress because congressional members are duly elected representatives of we the people. Plus, then they have checks and balances and multiple people weighing in.
Yeah, but that is assuming that Congress isn't super corruptible to special interests. Right? Because Congress people, like, who are in small committees, as in
the appropriations committees, yeah.
They don't have to convince the entire chamber. Just like 6 or 8 people, that they can't be corrupted by multi-trillion-dollar industries. So that is kind of the problem. The CFPB was created as a result of maybe industry's influences on Congress and the president to ease lending guidelines, which led to the Great Recession, which led to Congress passing the Dodd-Frank debacle, which was a giant, loosely organized law to create the CFPB. The CFPB's mandate was to protect the American people from fraud and greed. and bad decisions from financial institutions. It gave them crazy broad powers to unilaterally find financial institutions into oblivion, literally, and basically be the final answer, which is kind of a dictatorship, isn't it? Anyway. I'm always right because I have the power. And nobody has the power to say I'm wrong.
Yeah, and there's the rub of the whole thing. It turns out that the Bureau ended up being staffed by human beings. And human beings screw things up sometimes. And they're basically the final answer on stuff. And it's damn near impossible to override their decisions in court. I mean, look at the PHH case. They fined PHH for some perceived wrongdoing. PHH sued in court. So the CFPB said, oh, yeah? Hold my beer. I'm going to fine you even more money. And it took several years and untold millions of dollars to fight and eventually win the case. But in the meantime, they fined numerous companies out of existence and basically fined Wells Fargo out of lending.
Yeah, but don't we need someone who can do that without being able to buy their way out of anything?
Yeah, but only if they're right. I mean, what happens if some 23-year-old kid who is on his first job ever making $180,000 a year? Yeah, a couple of years ago, that was the average salary at the CFPB. What if that 23-year-old kid making all the money in the world that thinks he's the shit, what if they're wrong?
Damn, that's kind of ridiculous. And yeah, but that's not the best scenario for sure. And I don't know, wow, it seems like we need something that is both. How the hell would that even work?
Well, that would require Congress to pass a new law eliminating the CFPB, then passing yet another new law creating a new entity that has a ton of power, some oversight, but not too much oversight. My personal favorite scenario is having all of their decisions go through a 5-person panel. Some of them are appointed by Congress, maybe one by the president. The rest are like independent experts.
So what you're saying here, Rod, is that we need Congress to admit that they screwed up. And we want them to do that publicly.
Publicly, yep.
Okay. Then have the forethought to build an actual effective, well-balanced government agency. That's it?
Yep, that's it.
I'm in danger.
What you gonna do?